Hey, how are you doing today? I hope everything is wonderful. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon, except I'm in upstate New York and it's snowing. It is snowing right now. It was just in the 60s yesterday. I know, 60s, and I'm acting like that's warm. What has happened to me? And it's snowing. It's wrong on so many levels that it's snowing. I just want you to know that. Anyway, I'm talking today. I'm going to share with you a little bit of a personal story in regards to Q1, and then some things that you should know specifically about how to get unstuck. My name is Dawnna St. Louis. I am CEO of highprofitzone.com, and I help people take their amazing ideas, discover their hidden advantage, and then turn that hidden advantage along with their amazing idea into a profitable business. And so today I'm going to share with you a little bit about how to get unstuck if you were stuck for Q1, because I know that I felt, even though my business is doing well, I just felt a little stuck for some reason, and I couldn't figure out why I was feeling stuck. I was having what I would call a significant, I would talk about first world problems, like, I don't know, it's the weather, it's cold outside, and I don't feel like going to the gym, and what are we gonna have for dinner? I don't feel like cooking. There was a whole lot of unfeel likes, right? I didn't feel like doing a lot of things for some reason. And I felt myself almost in whiny mode, which is so not like me. So I'm in whiny mode. There's a lot of things I don't feel like doing. I can't really get motivated. I just wasn't, something was off. Have you ever had that feeling where something just wasn't clicking? And so it turned out that I was a little bit in a rut, right? I was kind of in a rut. I was getting up every morning. I was going to my desk. I was doing my work. I was closing deals, doing business, kicking ass, taking names. So I was doing the things that I was supposed to do, and things were getting done, but still it felt more like a hamster wheel cycle kind of a thing rather than achievements, right? I didn't feel like I was achieving anything. And so I was a little bit rutted. I mean, have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt like just a little rutted? What's up, Lindy? Hi, Patricia. How are you guys doing? So, that was what was going on. And I had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and we started talking about this. We started talking about feeling all rutted. And one of the things that he said these three words that changed everything for me. And I don't know if you guys know this. I have a coach. I have a coach that I rely on heavily, and we have great conversations. It's one of the reasons that I have, a coach on demand. Like, some people hire me, Dawnna on demand. And here's the thing about having a coach that has a coach. When you have a coach that has a coach, when that coach gets stuck, they have a coach to go to help you. Right? I actually wouldn't, and my coach has a coach. So, I'm probably like 2 degrees from Tony Robbins at this point. Anyway, but it's really powerful when you have a coach, when you have someone that's one of the things why even my program that people buy into with me for Dawnna on Demand is because it's not just about the coaching. It's this long-term relationship where you can talk to someone every day and you get to know them, you get to know their business, you get to know their family, what's going on with them. And you can really kind of look into what's going on holistically and historically that you can bring forward and say, hey, isn't this an ongoing trend? So anyway, I was talking to my coach about this, and I'm like, yeah, I said, like, my juju is off, my mojo ain't working. Something's not popping. I don't know what's happening. And it wasn't, like I said, you couldn't point to anything. You couldn't go, oh, well, your numbers are down in your business, or your connections aren't replying to you, or you couldn't say any of that. Oh, well, you're not delivering as well as you used to on stage. You couldn't point to anything specific, but I could point to my specific actions that were changing. So here's a really obvious action for me. I was sleeping later than normal, right? really sleeping later than normal. And the other thing that happened is that I was staying up much later than normal. So you're going, oh, but you were still getting 8 hours sleep. But what happened was it kind of threw off my entire day. So, I usually get up around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and I go and do stuff. I head to the gym or whatever. And so what happened was I wasn't doing that. I was staying up until like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just trying to help you guys right now identify if you might be in a rut, what it looks like, because it's not always so obvious, right? So for example, I was staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning. That was one of the first things. One of the second things that I noticed is that I started taking my laptop to the bed. I never, ever, ever, ever take my laptop to my room. I never do that. And all of a sudden, I had an excuse every night to just work a little extra on that project, to do this little extra thing, right? So that was the second thing that happened to me. So I'm glad you hear me, Patricia, right? So staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning, waking up a little later than normal. First it went from 7 to 7:15 to 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Then I'm rolling out right around 9. And then I would roll over and I'd pick up the laptop that I went to sleep with. And now I'm literally in bed until like 11 o'clock in the afternoon and going, oh, I think I should go pee. Like, think about what I just told you. I was in bed from I got in bed before 2. So I'm in bed from like 9 o'clock. I'm working on my laptop until 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm in bed. I'm not getting out of bed until 11 o'clock. That's 14 hours of just being in the bed. Okay, so that's already bad. So again, it wasn't like this a massive shift, and you might be going, well, no shit, Dawnna, if you're in the bed for 14 hours, then of course shit's not good. But it didn't start off that way. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's not where it started. I used to never take my laptop in bed, and now my laptop's going with me to bed. I actually made it a habit of not having any technology near the bed, and now my laptop, my iPad, my iPhone, and they didn't all just show up one day, by the way. First it was my phone, and then, oh, well, my phone's too small, I'll use my iPad. Oh, well, you know what, my iPad has a keyboard, I might as well use my laptop. Oh, well, now I'm using my laptop. I'll go to bed a little early. I'll go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock, but then I bring my laptop in there, so now I'm on my laptop until 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I don't wake up until 8 or 9, and then I stay in bed because I can just roll over and grab my laptop, and now I can do work on my laptop until 11 or 12, and here it is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I guess I should get up and go pee and brush my teeth. What the hell? Like that. And it wasn't immediately. It was a cycle. It happened over time. And what happens when these things happen over time is they start to become normal. And I noticed this normalization of being in this rut. All of a sudden, I was in this rut. And so I had this amazing conversation with my amazing coach, who I absolutely love and adore. And my coach said the following: you have to think about your people, places, and things. More importantly, I want you to think of it this way. You have to change your playground, your playmates, and your playthings. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Because of course, what happens when you get into a rut, when you really get stuck into one good, when you're really in a good rut, I mean, not your average run-of-the-mill rut, I mean that good-ass rut. That rut that makes you eat like crap, makes you gain a little weight, makes you feel a little tired, more tired than usual, a little more cranky than usual, a little less motivated than usual. The one that really packs it in, the good rut, the rut right before you almost get depressed, that rut. You know the rut I'm talking about. So I started thinking about this, people, places, and things. Well, let me tell you what happened. So I changed my playground. I changed my playground from South Florida to upstate New York. Okay. So, and everybody's like, why in the hell would you do that? Just stay with me. Get off of it. By the way, it's snowing outside, so no one is more aware that she is not in South Florida right now than I am, because there's snow and it's April and it should not be snowing. Anyway, so I changed my playground from South Florida, upstate New York, but I didn't change my mindset to match my playground. Instead, what I did was I complained. I bitched that I couldn't go out and go swimming and do 40 laps first thing in the morning. There's a video you guys can go and look where I was doing 40 laps first thing in the morning every single solitary time every day, right? And so, this is a sales slump, a kick your ass slump, a financial slump, whatever you want to call your rut. It could be a weight gaining rut, whatever you want to call it. When you get in a rut, you got to get out. So anyway, I changed my playground. I did move, but I did not change my mindset to go along with it, because it wasn't necessarily a move it was more of a move that I had to make, that I wanted to make, right? And so it was made under an adverse situation. That's probably the best way to say it. So here it is. I'm in upstate New York, but my mindset is still in South Florida. So of course, what do you do when you've moved your body, but you haven't moved your mind? You complain. You complain that, well, I don't get to do the things that I did in Florida. I don't get to go get up in the morning and go for a 40 lap swim. I don't get to get on the phone and just run outside, because when I have conference calls, I would just run outside and I would talk on the phone and I'd walk while I was on the phone. So I didn't get to do that. I don't get to, I don't like cold weather. So there's like 4 months where I'm just stuck in. And so what happened was, because my mind had not caught up with my location, I was literally putting myself into this rut. And I allowed this to happen until it really kind of hit me first quarter of freaking 2019. And why am I in bed for 14 hours a day? What the hell? I've never been that person. Like, it would be hard to keep me in bed for 6 hours a day. For me to be in there for 14 hours a day with my laptop is unheard of. This is not how I live. I am the person who gets up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I go and keep going, and I live life to the fullest. And when I go to bed at night, I go to bed tired. I go to bed because I'm sleepy, not because it's 9 o'clock. So anyway, I had to get out of this rut. And so now I had to purposely change my playground, my playmates, and my playthings. Here's the most important thing that I'm going to tell you, and this will change which one of these you do first. Hey, Sean, so I want you to think about this. One of those things, your playground, your playmate, or your plaything, is your anchor. One of them is your anchor. So let me give you an example. If you are with someone who is a drain on you, they're just negative, they are pulling you down, they are the anchor. If you are in a place like for me, it was my playground. I am literally in my apartment all day long. And because I am in my apartment all day long, right? What do? I'm just staying in my room, my playground. Because it was one of those things like, well, why should I bother to get up and put on makeup? And why should I bother to look cute? And why should I bother? Right? And so my mindset, my playground had caused my mindset to be one of why bother? You could have a person that gives you a mindset of why bother, because they're always crapping on you. They're always dragging you and pulling you down. So that could be your anchor. Or maybe it's your bad habits, your playthings. Maybe your playthings are your anchor. Maybe you drink too much. Maybe you have something that you do at work that, like a gamer, like some people who are gamers, their plaything is causing them to be in a rut because they're doing it for so many hours out of the day that they don't do anything else. So for me, it was my playground. Okay. So I had to change my playground. Now, most people go, well, Dawnna, you could just get out of bed. Stupid. No, you're right. I could. However, if my mindset got my ass in the bed for 16 hours a day and I wasn't even aware of it, then I need to make sure that I make a big change to my playground, right? It's so, yes, of course you can take, and people act like it's so easy just to change your mindset. It's not. So stop shitting on people when they can't. Understand that they might need to change their playground, their playmate, or their plaything in order for their mindset to follow. So anyway, I decided that I really needed to change my playground. Basically, I needed to get out of my apartment. So the first thing that I thought about was literally getting another apartment. I'm not kidding you. I went apartment hunting. And so that was the first thing that came to my mind. Let's just go look at another apartment. Maybe I just need another apartment. Another apartment would change it. And it wouldn't though, because I'd still be in an apartment, just in a different place. So that wasn't a good way of changing my playground. So I had to think about what my day was. And what I did instead was this. I realized that it was being in a house that was really anchoring me. So I changed my playground and I went, some people do co-working where they go get a co-working office, but getting out of the house literally and going to another location and then working from that location during that location's hours and then coming back was all the difference in the world. Now, for me, I got to tell you, a location where, and some people are like, oh, so you work from a Starbucks. Working from a location like a Starbucks wouldn't work for me because there are too many people there and it's way too distracting. So this might work for some of you who currently, especially if you work from home, this might work for you. It definitely made a huge difference for me in just the first week. What I did was, our apartment complex has a clubhouse, as many apartment complexes and a lot of resort style homes do. So I literally get up in the morning, I take my laptop, I put in my laptop bag, and I have a full-fledged computer that I prefer to work on. If I have to do it, and I'll talk about what I have to do if I get intense work or something like that. But I take my laptop, put it in my laptop bag, I wake up in the morning, I make my lunch, I pack a lunch, even though it's literally right there, like I could walk to it and be back here in 2 minutes, it's very close, but I pack a lunch, I pack my snacks, I make my breakfast before I head out, but I pack everything just as if I'm going to work every day. I get up in the morning, brush my teeth, wash my face, take a shower, put on gym clothes, I go to the gym, I work out while I'm there, and then I go to work because they have a little area there that I could work in, and I work from there during the day. They have internet there so I could use Wi-Fi, and if I couldn't, I could tether from my phone. And since most of my work is not heavy download intense, it's fine. I can work from there. And if it is, then it's taught me that I need to plan the night before. I do not come home for lunch. Because I packed my lunch, I usually go there and I stay at the gym for lunch. And so I go to the gym for lunch, I have my lunch there. At 4 o'clock, when they close around 4:30, at 4 o'clock when they close, half an hour before they close, I pack up all my stuff and I go and I work out for another half an hour. So I work out 3 times a day for a half an hour. I work out for another half an hour and then I come home. I know this sounds like, okay, Donna, you're kind of crazy because what you're telling me is you literally take all your shit, throw it in a bag and walk 200 steps to your freaking clubhouse. And you're telling me that makes all the difference in the world. Yes, it does. Completely changes my mindset. Instead of getting up in the morning and staying in my pajamas all day, I get up in the morning and I change my clothes. I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I do all those things, but now I get up and I change my clothes. I prepare for my day and I leave and I do something with that day. When I am over at the clubhouse, I am in an environment where other people are working. So I'm very cognizant there are people around me that are working. There are also people that I can have conversations to, face-to-face conversations with other people. Crazy. Then on top of that, when my day ends at 4 o'clock and I put my laptop down, my laptop is down. I have done this now. I haven't picked up my laptop that often since at home because I've done my work. My work is there unless there's a deadline. So what are the things that I do if I'm like, okay, it's going to be I got to do a lot of heavy downloads. If I got to do a lot of heavy downloads or I'm doing something pretty intense or uploads or something like that, then I might make that an at-home work day, or I might try and do all my downloads the night before. But what I do is when I come home, I transfer everything back to my computer since my computer gets backed up. It has a backup system. And plus it's a Mac, so everything works on a centralized network anyway. But kind of my point is by changing my playground, my playthings, my laptop not being in bed with me, and even my playmates have changed. I have new people now that I talk to that are at the clubhouse. It's so funny because the lady at the clubhouse now looks for me to come in. And when I didn't come over there today, she actually called me and asked me if I was okay, which I thought was really cute. And she asked me that. She's like, I know it was a little late and I didn't open the door in time. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm actually doing some downloads, But just it changes things. And now here are some of the other positive things that have happened. Number one, I know this is going to sound crazy because it's only been a few days. I lost 3 pounds this week. That's number one. In a week, who does that? So I lost 3 pounds this week. That's number one. Number two, my energy level has been at an all-time high. Number three, even though it's snowing outside, I actually don't want to kill anyone. That's crazy. Normally, I go out serial killing when it starts to snow because it's not supposed to be snowing. That's going to be a conversation with Mother Nature for later. My energy level is at an all-time high. My weight is starting to drop again. I'm eating much healthier. I've been more productive during the day because I've been more conscious about planning what I can get done between the hours of 8 and 4 rather than between the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been motivated to get up and get going. So just my whole motivation and mindset have changed. So maybe that'll help you when you start thinking about your playground, your playmates, and your playthings. Which one of those do you feel could be anchoring you in a rut? Because when we get in a rut, it's literally because something is pulling us down there. And, somebody told me the other day, she goes, you have the perfect life. Nothing ever goes wrong in your life. And I'm like, I try to be as honest and vulnerable and true as I can on live stream and never just everything's roses and beautiful. No, that's bullshit. It's not. Everything is not always roses and beautiful. Sometimes some things happen. And for me, I was really getting in this rut. I would have to scurry around and go, oh my God, I'm going to do a live stream. I have to look like not crap, right? And it's because I was getting into that rut. Whereas now I don't feel that way at all. So hopefully this helps you. Hopefully you can really look at, is there something that's holding you down? Is there something that's pulling you back? If you find that it's playmates, you might have to change those playmates, or you might have to add some new playmates so that you have people that'll help lift you up. If you find that it's your playthings, what I found, if it's your playthings, by the way, because this happened to my son, was that he was gaming entirely too much. I said, send me your gamer. And he's a grown-up, by the way. And I'm like, send me your console. And when he sent me his console, he said he found 1,000 other things to do all of a sudden. So sometimes you have to get rid of those playthings. You literally have to get rid of them. And again, maybe it's your playground. So maybe you need a co-working space. Maybe you don't need a co-working space. Maybe you just need to get out and make it. I find that if I do something first thing in the morning, so maybe first thing in the morning, get up and pack your stuff and go to Starbucks and be at Starbucks for a couple hours in the morning and get your work kicked off in the morning, and then come back to if you're working from home at lunchtime. But change your playground a little bit and make sure that your mindset follows whatever it is that you decide to do. If your mindset doesn't follow, you're just going to find yourself in a different rut, and we don't want that. Anyway, if you need help, if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, if you want to get out of a rut, you can always PM me and we can talk about it and I can help you through it. I don't have a problem doing that at all. Also, and I forgot to mention it, if you are interested in coming to the high profit zone, please make sure that you go to mansionretreats.com. We have 2 spaces left. And it says, great plan for conference weeks 2. Oh my God, right? Yes, move. Find new people to chat with. Yes. Oh my God. I hate people coming there they talk to the same person. And I'm like, you could have talked to them the whole time. You already know them. Talk to somebody else different. Read a novel instead of a business book. Okay, so I don't even know what that means. What do you mean read a novel? Okay, so here's kind of the joke. I rarely, if ever, actually read for pleasure. For 2 reasons. Number one, I have dyslexia, so I find it very difficult to read and comprehend at the same time. So I do a lot of audiobooks. So, but if I'm going to read, I'm not kidding you. I can get real down and dirty with back in the day, it used to be ooh, I got a C++ book. What? I'm going to be all up in that Java this weekend. That was my thing. I could get a tech book that's supposed to be for reference and I could read that thing cover to cover like it was E.L. James. I'm not kidding you. That was my thing. I was like a super nerd. And I say I'm no longer a super nerd. That's what I tell myself. No, but seriously, I could get a tech book and I could totally just sit in and read a tech book like it was a novel all the time. Anyway, and yeah, don't get me wrong. I know people have friends that they've been, somebody just put a little note, and it came to my text messages, so you guys don't see it. So they said, they go, but what if it's family? That is that's your playmate. I will tell you, and this is me, I'm not saying follow my example. This is me. I have cut off family, and I usually start with limiting them. So I always tell them, listen, this is where I am. This is where you are. Those things are not in concert. They're not working well together. So I'm going to have to go ahead and limit our activity. And no, I'm not coming to your Thanksgiving dinner because y'all bitch too much. And I just let them know. And then after a while, I mean, I literally have people that I don't talk to that are in my family, that because they're such negative energy that I would prefer not to have that anchor in my life. I do. I have people who know me and love me that go, oh my God, you just cut off people as if they're disposable. And that's not true. I don't just cut them off. It takes time, but it happens. Anyway, yeah. So sometimes you have to cut off people. Sometimes you have to cut off playmates. Just because they're blood relatives don't mean they're necessarily the most positive thing for you. I have people who are not my blood relatives that I couldn't live without. So there you go. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. I hope you guys got everything that you need. If you need anything at all, please, please, please hit me up. Love you guys. I will talk to you later. Have a good one. I'll talk to you maybe from the gym when I'm on the treadmill next time. Bye.